Hey, Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, Seeker. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How are you doing today? If you are a returning listener, you're part of the community, you're anchored into the Awakening Her vibes. Hello. Welcome back, my homie, my friend. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you so much for spending this time on yourself, for spending this time with me, for trusting me in your journey. I just love you to bits. And if you are new here, welcome. Hello. My name is Talia Joy. I'm an intuitive channel, a spiritual guide, a manifestation mentor, obsessed with helping you to create the life you see in your mind's eye. I'm your go-to manifestation bestie that's going to help you live your dreams. And that's that. But I'm so excited you're here. If you would like, subscribe to the show, turn on your notifications, all that, because I'm dropping episodes twice a week and we are moving you forward. We are amping up your magnetism. We are turning on the manifestation vibes because, damn it, it's 2024. You get to live the life that you've always wanted. This is your year. We are doing this. I think we're already halfway through, aren't we? 2024? Anyway, time to do the thing. So excited you're here. Today I'm talking about blocks, and this is a really important part to really be aware of on the manifestation journey. It's also one that I think is very misunderstood. So I'm going to break down what blocks actually are from an energetic perspective. I know you've heard about I'm blocked, right? Or feeling blocked or remove blocks, all that stuff. We're going to break that down. If you want a very powerful free workbook to break all this down yourself, to give you mantras, your next step, all the things, you can check the link below. It is called the Manifestation Mindset Makeover. And this is what it's all about, is dissolving, dismantling blocks. I've got your back. You can click that. It's just a free workbook. I will send it over to your inbox right away if you want to take this further. But that's what we're talking about, is blocks. Right? Things that are going on in your energy that are blocking you from what you desire. Before I launch in though to that, I wanted to let you know, if you do not know already, I have a second podcast and it is called On the Path. And it is really where I talk to you as if you're my client. I give you the straight goods, no fluff, no meandering intros, just the assignment for the week, the topic that we're diving deep into. And all of it is geared on helping you to move forward episode by episode. You also get access to my entire methodology of transformation, including healing, reprogramming, quantum manifestation, all of that. And it's done through a podcast platform. So you can binge the episodes, binge the trainings, listen to it anytime. There's meditations. And we also do weekly assignments. We do deep dive episodes. We do monthly challenges. The monthly challenge starting June 1st is magnetism and momentum. And it's really 3 days geared toward moving you forward quickly. So as I say, there's no fluff. I talk to you like I'm your client. We are moving you forward. We're doing the thing. And it's only $27 a month at the time of recording. You can come, you can go anytime if it's not your cup of tea, but it is an incredible world to open up. Audio education, as I said, meditations, deep dive episodes, everything you need for self-growth, for manifestation. We're doing the thing. We're moving you forward. And I can't wait to see you on the path. So again, that link is also below next to the free guide link. Okay, so where I want to start here when talking about how I deal with blocks on the spot, the first thing I want to say is I want to talk about blocks and what they are. So a lot of people say blocks, and even the mental image of a block is like a roadblock or something big that is like between you and what you want. And in some ways, that's a partial truth. It does feel like a block, but we live in a universe that is based in energy. And so there's not really blocks. There's actually something called resistance, right? So we talk about this in spirituality or manifestation, like, oh, I'm having so much resistance, but it's a science term. It came from your grade 10 or 9 or whatever physics class. Like, resistance is a scientific term. If a snowball is rolling down a hill and it starts to roll into a bale of hay, I don't know why, that bale of hay causes resistance. And if the snowball is like really big and the hay is really small, it could even maybe push the hay, but it's causing resistance in the path of the snowball. So you're a snowball and you're rolling down a hill. Okay, maybe that's not a good example. You're a human. You're wanting certain things. There are things, blocks, hay bales causing resistance that hold back your progress. So the great part about this is we're never actually blocked. You are not actually blocked. There are pockets of resistance that stop you or throw you into looping patterns that are away from what you want. And it feels like I'm blocked. No matter how hard I try, I can't manifest money. Or no matter what I do, I'm not creating love or a business, or I can't, get a new client or whatever. That's just resistance, and you're not actually like eternally blocked. So one thing you can do right now is just put your hand on your heart if you feel like a badass manifester today, and just say to yourself, I am not actually blocked. And a beautiful pivot I didn't even plan on saying in this episode, but is to say I feel something instead of I am something. So I feel not enough instead of I am not enough, or I feel blocked rather than I am blocked. That right there helps to open up the block. Instead of saying to yourself or saying in your journal or saying to your friends or even saying to your mentor, I am blocked when it comes to money, say I feel blocked, or I experience delay or resistance, or it feels hard, not it is hard, that type of thing. I feel tight with money instead of I am broke. Those things go a long way when it comes to blocks. But anyway, so you're never really actually blocked. God, spirit, universe, nature doesn't actually block anything. There are things that can cause contrasting energies that end up slowing you down. So if that snowball is rolling down that hill and then the hay bale's there, it's a contrasting energy. Like the snowball's rolling one direction and the hay bale is like stationary in its path. So that is opposing energies. One thing is moving one way and one thing is stationary. So they're going to hit in the middle, and it's going to cause resistance. And depending on how big or whatever it is, it's going to cause resistance in the snowball's path. I don't know why. It's funny when you pick a metaphor and then you have to just have confidence and ride it out, even though you're like, I really wish I picked something different. But you get it. It is physics. And it's fun to use examples like that because it's not deep and emotional. It's physics. So when we feel blocked, we just are experiencing something called resistance. It's just sciencey. It doesn't mean anything about you. It just means we have stuff that we could remove or move through that would open up the pathway. If you remove the hay bale, the snowball is going to just confidently roll on down the hill without being blocked, right? So with these blocks and with these resistances, what it usually comes down to is contrasting either beliefs or energy you're putting out. And the reason why I'm so big on mindset and why I'm really coming around to this is because the mind is the filter of your experience. If you want to hear more on this, bring it full circle. If you haven't listened already, The Miracle Mindset is an episode I did just recently, and that one goes even deeper into this. But the mind is a small part of who you are when it comes to your soul and your impact and even your traumas or your energies, your inner child, your shadow, your aura, your past lives. Like you're such a big, there's so many different dynamics and aspects to you, but the mind is the part that is the filter, and it will create your experience. That's part of how this all works. There's projection, there's the law of attraction, there's the law of cause and effect. And truly what you believe about life will cause resistance when it contrasts what you want. So put into probably even clearer words, when you want money and you want to be a millionaire, but you believe that money's really hard and you don't value yourself, or there's some sort of disconnect, you're not embodying that energy of someone who deserves it, who lives that way, not even meaning luxury, meaning magnetic, feeling abundant already, you can't manifest. You're only ever, it's simplified, simmered down into you are only ever manifesting what you are being right now. That's it. That's it. So you can be a different energy at any time, but that's why it takes that reprogramming work, being aware of these blocks and the resistance that's going on. So the first thing I'm trying to say here is you are never truly blocked. Blocks are just dense energies that cause resistance in manifesting what you want. So the example, if you want to manifest overflowing abundance, as I said, but really deep down you believe that money's hard, it causes stress, that it turns people evil. Deep down, you will have a quote unquote block around manifesting money because you don't want to be evil. You don't want stress. It's hard. You can't, right? These are narratives that we carry. So therefore, we cause that in our own life, not intentionally. And it's not like you did this, me. It's actually just becoming aware of how this experience works and taking responsibility for that. Okay, so let's start to shift gently our narrative on that so that we become unblocked. And in the guide that I offered down below, the free workbook, we go through the 5 most common blocks, like lack and scarcity, like pushing and control. And we really look at what it feels like to be in that, and then your first step, and even the mantra, the energy to kind of help take you out of it, because you're never eternally blocked. It's only just a shift. So make sure to grab that workbook if this resonates with you. So use the money example, right? We would have a quote unquote block around money if we also believe money's hard, but we also want to manifest money. That's where we'll have a block. So they're easily dismantled once we know how to do them. And that's why I'm talking in this episode about how I deal with blocks, resistance on the spot. So I want to first say everything with self-growth. I say this to my clients. We don't bypass hard shit. This isn't to ignore reality. It's not to ignore hard things. If you're in a state of like a panic attack or grief or deep shame or depression, some days like this stuff isn't available. And I'm not just trying to bypass any of that. It's just being aware on the everyday. The first thing I want to ask when I'm talking about how to deal with blocks on the spot, the first thing to be aware of is, where are you quote unquote blocked? What is it? So just name one area of life in your mind to go through this exercise on the spot. Just pick one if you feel blocked in money or love or self-love, self-care, healing, business, whatever it is. And then tune into the narrative underneath, right? We're doing self-growth work. There's no magic pills. There's self-awareness and moving through it. So what is the narrative underneath? Don't judge yourself. What is it? So if it's money, a very common one is money's hard, or money sucks, or mo money, mo problems, or no matter what I do, I never make enough. Like, we have to start to tune into what is that core narrative that leads back to the frustration, back to the looping patterns, right? No matter what I do, it's never enough. Money's hard. These types of things that feel like a grand statement, but it is actually, if you're allowed to just be honest and you're not worried about being positive and all this, it's what you kind of really actually feel deep down. Like, fucking money is hard. Or there's no good men out there, or there's nobody out there for me. Or sometimes I've had clients that are looking for love and they're a single parent and they're like, nobody's going to take me with kids. And so they experience these frustrating patterns. And when I really ask what's going on, it's like, I feel like no one's going to want me because I have kids. Okay, right? Or I feel like money's hard. It's just always kept away from me. So try to really narrow in on, and you can change it later. More may come up. It doesn't have to be perfectly right, but just narrow in on what is that narrative underneath that block. And then start to dismantle. So if you've never done self-growth work before, this may feel like a leap, but my clients are knee-deep in the work. Chances are you are already knee-deep in self-awareness, self-growth work of some sort, and manifestation maybe even, right? So this is where we start to go, I don't want to believe this. Like, money is hard. From money is hard, I can't manifest anything other than money being hard. So do you really want to hold on to that narrative, right? Is it Dr. Phil who says, like, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? We kind of get to a point where the universe just can only go like your wish is my command. So if you're endlessly saying money's hard, or there's no good people out there, or no one's going to love me, or something like that, we have empathy, because that goes back. Some of this is healing work. So it's not judgment, it's empathy. But that is really the narrative that's going on that's causing the quote unquote block. It's that thing you truly feel that you wouldn't want to admit to your like positive coach, but it's the actual thing going on under there. And it's okay. We all have this stuff. We all feel like there's an area of life that's hard or out of reach, or we're not enough, or we're going to fail. And it's okay. You're human. It's totally okay. So we tune into that narrative, and then our focus becomes proving that belief wrong. So again, in your journey, you may have inner child work, shadow work, other ways you get here, but it becomes my full-time job to disprove that belief. So say I keep getting triggered with money. I realize money's hard, right? That was one and is one I navigate because I used to hear my mom always say, money's so hard. We were very broke, poor. It seemed so hard. That was definitely something I learned as truth. So now in my experience as a 40-year-old, when I feel like money's hard, I become aware of that narrative. Okay, right now it's feeling hard, or I'm, believing it's hard, or that everywhere I go, it's hard. So I start to flip that and look for evidence in the opposite direction. So where is money easy, or where is a time that money has been easy? Like, oh, I got that payment yesterday while I slept. Oh, a client came to me last week ready to hire me literally out of nowhere. I don't know them. Oh, I'm up 12% in income over 3 months ago. Oh, like I start to see other places where money's easy. I found a dime. That was the easiest 10 cents I've ever made. Like literally just taking times when money has felt easy. Whether it's times in your life or that time you got offered a promotion, you weren't even going for it. It's not like the time you won the lottery, unless that was a time, then awesome. But it's more like, when has money been easy before? That's how we start to break down money's hard, because until we pinpoint it, our brain has believed it to be true and it keeps becoming created. Once we actually go into it and ask ourselves, here's the kicker of the question, is this ultimately true? Is this really ultimately universally true that money is hard and it cannot be a different way? When you really look at that, if you're ready to manifest, if you're ready to move forward in your self-growth journey, you really need to get to the point where you go, like, actually, it's not eternally true. I got given $100 for Christmas and I didn't try to do that. I found a dime. All these examples. That's actually a time when money was easy. Okay, that's what we start to do for our brain. That's why I'm talking so much about mindset. We rewire the way we perceive things. So then my full-time job, as I say, once I pinpoint the actual block, it becomes dismantling it. It becomes looking for evidence in the opposite direction. Everything I talk about with the miracle mindset, when I'm teaching my clients to manifest, I actually also have talking about money, a money mindset mastery mini course. That's a lot of M's. Right now, it's actually only $37, regularly $222. I'll pop that below just in case. I didn't plan on mentioning that, but that we talk about rewiring blocks with money, and it's only $37. If you want to hop in, I'll put that below for you. But really, it becomes my full-time job to be like, I need to dismantle this belief. Because if you believe that you're not good enough, or you believe that no one's going to love you with children, or you believe that you can't get clients, that is all that you'll be able to create. So it's the day comes when the risk to remain tight in a bud is more than the risk it takes to blossom. That beautiful quote from Anonymous Nin. And the day came where the risk to remain tight in a bud was more than the risk it took to blossom. And that means, like, the day comes where money is hard. I don't want to live in that anymore. Or I'm not good enough. Or I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm not enough that. I'm too old. I'm too young. It's not going to serve you where you're going. So you have to start to get focused on disproving that for your brain. For your actual brain, start to see evidence in the other direction. So on the spot, when I'm feeling, there's another step too I'm going to go through in a second that's really important. On the spot, when I start to notice myself get cringy, let's do the money example because that's what I was using. I start to feel myself tighten up when I get a bill or I look at my account and I go, okay, right now I'm feeling like money is hard. Take a deep breath, hand on heart. That's okay. I'm aware it's from my childhood, so that's okay. I can give myself love. And then I'll say, when are times, 3 times right now, that money was easy? Okay, right now, my credit card's paid off, so that feels easy. Or this thing came to me, or I got that unexpected bonus, or whatever, right? And I just take a couple times loosely in my mind and go, okay, break it up a little bit. Brain, is it ultimately true that money's hard, or I'm going to be fucked, or this bill's going to make me homeless? Okay, no, it's not ultimately true. Okay, deep breath. And then the last step is to move the emotion. You guys, this is so important, especially when we're dealing with on the spot. Move the emotion under it, under the block, under the trigger. So it'll be something like frustration, rage, sadness, shame, something deep. Even if it's just frustration that you're still in this position or that this is happening, that's a normal human emotion. So you take your frustration or your rage or your sadness and you move it through. You release the built up charge, the built up molecules literally within you, causing like a kettle, like a lot of pressure, and you just need to let off steam. That sadness, that shame, that frustration, that pain causes an excess in energy. And so that it doesn't get stored in your body or doesn't send you into a panic attack or looping anxiety, we move it. This is where we physically move the energy. So you can choose your own adventure. I love to do going for bursts of runs. Like it's not just like I'm going out on a run. It's like I'll go for a walk, but I'll do bursts of runs where I'm like, just giving her, moving that energy through. I'll do jumping jacks. I will intuitively dance. I'll put on music and I'll just get all weird and tribal and flowy and sometimes stompy. If I'm feeling angry or like rage feeling, I scream into a pillow until I have nothing left, or I dance it out, shake it out. You can dance and shake and kind of even go like, I've talked about this before, like let it out. Sometimes it's a gentle stretch. Sometimes it's a cry. Sometimes it's venting to a bestie who can just hold space for you. It could look different on any day, but really what you think about is how can I move the energy under this? Because here's the thing, you guys. So what I just did is identify the block, identify the narrative under it, ask if it's ultimately true, disprove it a little bit in your brain, and then move the energy under it. What we normally do is we feel the trigger, we feel the block, we feel the narrative, i.e. money's hard. We believe it. We feel shame. And then we don't do anything with that energy. And then it loops. And then we manifest more money is hard. And then we feel that narrative. And then it looks so true because no, really, money is hard, right? And then we feel more shame or frustration or sadness or rage. And we don't get rid of it. And over we go. And not only do we continue manifesting the same thing on loop, we're not healing those narratives, and we're also storing that emotion in our body, in our minds, causing depression, anxiety, chronic pain. My hand is up. Literally, the chronic pain in my body was from unprocessed emotion, and I'm learning to do this, and it is game-changing. Especially for empaths, especially for sensitive people, we hold a lot of energy in our body. So how to deal with a block on the spot? First of all, remember that you're never eternally blocked. You just have a dense patch of energy between you and what you want that is generally in the form of a belief or a perception. And it's just fueling that. And it feels really true. We honor it. We give ourselves love around it. We're not trying to say it's not true. Get over it. We're actually trying to be like, curious. I do feel like money's hard. That's been the experience. Do I want to believe that, right? So on the spot, we acknowledge what the narrative underneath. I can never find love. Money's hard. Clients are hard to get, or whatever we want to say. And then we ask ourselves, we flip that and we go, is there ever been a time when money was easy? Has there ever been a time that I met a man that was nice? If your narrative are like, there's no good men, all men are cheaters, have you ever met one man that didn't cheat? It could be your uncle. It could be your grandfather. It could be a friend you had. Is there one single man you know that is a good person? And that's how we start to break down that belief, right? And then you go, oh yeah, my old roommate or my best guy friend or my dad or my whoever. There are some good men. I've met at least maybe one. Okay, that's enough to break open the belief. Is it ultimately universally true? No, it's not. So we start to see proof in the opposite direction, as I say. And then we move the energy under it. Okay, that trigger, that feeling caused a lot of upset. It was dysregulation. I feel a lot of anger or rage or anxiety inside when I felt that big thing that came up. I didn't like that feeling. Go move it. Dance, cry, jumping jacks, scream, go on a walk, go on a run, do a workout, stretch, shake, whatever you need to do. Rock, like whatever you need to do to move it through. And then you'll feel a lot better right after. From an energetic standpoint, as a mentor who teaches this, during that whole thing, you're still manifesting because you're not fueling the old story. You're actually moving through the old story. So you are changing your habits, your programming, and you're changing your end result just by doing that process rather than what I said that we normally do, which causes us to manifest in the quote unquote wrong direction. So we do this on the spot. And then after this, now that you've identified that root belief, every time it comes up, it's a game of reprogramming. So we have to do this for a little bit because our brain is like a computer that has programming. So every time that old belief of money's hard comes up, we stop and we do the same thing. And it becomes quicker and quicker. And sometimes we get thrown into a trigger and we believe it and we start freaking out. And then we remember and we're like, oh yeah, wait, what did Talia say about that? Let's go back into my phone, grab the PDF, go through the mindset makeover guide. Oh yeah, right. Is this really true? When is a time it hasn't been true? And how can I move this frustration that's in me? There's been times where I've been all of a sudden triggered, like going to the grocery store, being like, oh, I think about something stressful in my life or whatever. And I'll like sit in the car and like shake it out before I go on with my grocery shopping. Cause I'm like, I need to move this through. Or like I need to take a quick detour by the beach and go for a walk or put my feet in the ocean, move it through. This is alchemy. This is taking your emotion, not bypassing it, not slapping on a positive bumper sticker and pretending it doesn't exist. It's authentically feeling it, processing it, disproving it, moving it through. That is how you become unblocked, my friend. So I hope that this made sense. Maybe come back, listen to this again. It's quite a simple process, but it changes everything. It changes the way we navigate blocks. Okay, love, I genuinely hope that this served you today. I am posting the links below to everything I mentioned, the free mindset makeover workbook, the money manifestation course, On the Path, the private podcast, as well as my Instagram handle. And there's some other fun things down there if you want to check out the show notes. Okay, love you lots. I can't wait to see how this helps you to navigate blocks in your life. Come find me on Instagram. Let me know at Talia Joy Manifestation, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for your time and tuning into this episode. I really hope that it served you. And before you go, I'd love to give you a free workbook to help you upgrade your manifestation mindset. In this workbook, we're going to go through the 5 most common unconscious blocks that are holding you back. I'm going to show you how it's showing up in your life, and most importantly, the manifestation mindset shift that you need to unblock yourself. So grab the Manifestation Mindset Makeover free workbook now, and let's get to unblocking.